Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, your favourite football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United and made in Manchester. And we have got some stiff. We've not got a stiff. We've got some stuff to talk about. Injured starting 11. For people of the TikTok world, you can see my screen here. You can't see the full team, but basically we have got a starting 11 of injured players. And the most recent one is Wan-Bissaka. So we'll be talking about that. How detrimental that could be to United's season in general and all the other injuries and potential ones coming back. Amrabat not wanted, apparently, by United's hierarchy. There's a little bit of news coming out about that from James of the Muppeteers, a friend of the channel. Jadon Sancho to Spurs or Newcastle is being rumoured. That's kind of the hot topic as well at the moment. And then you have some takeover news that initially Fabrizio Romano mentioned earlier on in the day. But then we've just had another thing come out from a business insider, which I actually don't know the links, who it is. I need to look into it. But apparently they said it's leaning more towards Qatar. But fucking hell, how many times have we heard that? If I had a quid every time I heard that, I could probably buy Manchester United myself. So as always, make sure you're getting involved in the comment section, leave a like on the video for us, and subscribe to Real Reds Talk, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube. If you can for me, that'd be absolutely amazing. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka, that we're going to kick things off straight off the bat with the injury list, is out for 2 months. So we now have a starting 11 of players, right? So we've got Tom Heaton, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Shaw, Malacio, Amrabat, Mount, Kobe Mainoo, Antony, Sancho, and Ahmad. That is the 11 players that we've got out. That is literally a starting 11 because Shaw can play at centre-back. Amrabat, Mount, and Mainoo actually isn't a bad midfield at all. And then if you want to play Ahmad as a false 9 or Sancho as a false 9, and then Antony or Sancho on either wing, it's actually not a bad team when you look at it, to be honest with you. You could see that team in a cup team. But the question, the poll that I've put out, and I thought it was just a little bit of fun, something to think of. Where would that team finish, do you think? Just as a quick kind of thing. Where do you think that team would finish? Tom Heaton in net, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Varane, Shaw at centre back, Malacia at left back. Then you've got Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo, and Mason Mount a little bit further on ahead. And then let's say Sancho's the false 9, Antony on the left, and Ahmad on the right. As you can see in this thing behind me, even though it fills up the kind of thing, if you know what I'm saying. I put a poll up at the start of the show. A few of you have answered it already. Top 4 says 10%. Top half, 50% think. Bottom half, 20%. Relegated, 20%. I'd love to know who put relegation. Oh, Vincent's already put it in there. Dan Everton saying, evening, guys. Good evening to you, Dan. Hope you're good, mate. Vincent's in the chat. Big up to Vince and Treyas as well, saying top half easily. I think I would probably agree with that, to be honest with you. Hello, Bobby boy. Hope you're doing well, mate. From the other side, Mount is overrated and couldn't get in a 12th place Chelsea. All right, well, that's your opinion. Should have let Brandon Williams go out on loan so quickly. Well, a lot of people were questioning the signing of Reguilon, weren't there? But if we hadn't signed him now, we'd be playing fucking Lindelof at right back and then Delo at left back. So it's pretty good we did bring him in. And he looked pretty good as well. He looked decent, didn't he? Reguilon was one of the better players. I said that in the pros and cons I did after the game. I thought Reguilon was really, really good. But look, there certainly is an injury crisis at Manchester United at the minute. Moondog's in the chat saying, the chat's going quite quick. I can't see it. Bear with me a second. For some reason, why is it not let me scroll up, man? Fuck you. I want to see the comments. Oh, there we go. Grace Sheridan, can I ask, what was the point in using Sancho as a false 9 in pre-season, then using Rashford up front? When have we used Rashford up top? Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. At the start, you were alluding to. Yeah, I don't know. I think he was just doing it just to have someone there. So maybe it's in case if Højlund doesn't come in and Rashford gets injured. It was a bit of a contingency plan, I'm guessing. I don't know. It's strange. No idea. I never thought he would use him in Sancho as a false 9 in the Premier League game anyway. Maybe he might use it in a cup game. You know, if you're playing, I don't know. Well, they won't now because Sancho's basically going in it. But yeah, I thought maybe a cup game or God knows. God knows. Aaron Gregory says, Reguilon better than Williams. Come on. I agree. Reguilon fantastic, to be fair. Yes, very smart comments. Lou, why am I lagging? What's going on here? Don't like this lagging business. Lou saying, going to ask the question of how hard are the players being pushed in training, all these injuries? Well, that kind of leads perfectly to my next point. First and foremost, right, I did a bit of digging because I was thinking, we all know that Manchester United got a new doctor, didn't we? At the start of the season, it was announced like it was some form of fucking transfer news, and it was announced that we have now got Arsenal's doctor. And the reaction at the time, it was actually, we did not a transfer show, a breaking news show, and we was discussing it as a group, and we was like, thank God we've got another doctor, because the doctor that we got in a minute, whoever it is, or medical staff, whoever's to blame for it, sorry, is shit. We've had really bad injuries. You know, you go back over the years, some of the injuries we've had are just absolutely terrible. Sometimes injuries can't be helped, but the recovery time have always been strange. They've always been a bit elusive around it. Like, I've never understood it. So when this new doctor came in, we was all like, fucking, it's literally like a new signing. Imagine if he can keep Martial fit. Imagine if he can do this and blah, blah, blah. But obviously he can't work miracles when it comes to Martial. So this new doctor, not very fucking good, is he? Gary O'Discroll, his name is. So mentalize that. That's the new doctor, Gary O'Discroll. You've got some questions to answer, Gary. I'm talking to you. You've got some questions to answer, because you've come over from Arsenal and people are going to start developing conspiracies now that you're fucking up our players on purpose. It's got to be something. It's got to be something in the air. Do you know what I mean? To have 11 players out at the very start of the season, we played 5 games. That's it. That's it. 5 games. It's crazy. Obviously, I think this is, like Louis said there, got to ask the question, how hard are these players being pushed in training? Look, they will be being pushed hard in training, but I think it's more to the point that this is a case of pre-season, and this is a case of all the games that we played last season. If you look at the minutes that we racked up, especially players like Bruno Fernandes, who's got like the most in Europe, just absolutely just playing so much time and like just drained physically. You could tell, you just look at him, they look drained. And then the preseason, you're flying from like, what was the preseason now? Was it Oslo, Edinburgh? I feel like it was somewhere else. Then you go to America. It's like Houston and Dallas. Was it like? Well, that might be Houston. I don't know. I don't know America very well. But they went all around America, didn't they? Traveling there, and then they came back and then had a game at Old Trafford, and then had a game at Dublin, and then came back. It was just like a bit of a minefield. You think, surely all this traveling for pre-season and all the minutes they played last season, and it sounds like a really pathetic excuse, to be honest with you, but that's why I think the players haven't hit the ground running straight off the bat. Legit. That's why I genuinely believe that. And this doctor needs to be having words with him, because I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's made the club worse, even worse. We've actually, not only just with injuries as well, I think we've been unlucky with the rub of the green. And this actually started, everyone's got the violins and the emojis, and all the Liverpool fans are in the chat, or City fans, whoever it is, especially on the TikTok, are going to be like, oh yeah, play Crimea River and all this and blah, blah, blah. But it's true. If this happens, do you remember Liverpool when they got all them injuries and they wore fucking t-shirts for Van Dijk? Don't chat to me about injuries, mate. They were the worst with it. City, for whatever reason, just seem to be fine with injuries. They have a couple here and there, but let's be honest, a lot of the time they have world-class players in that position, so it's not anything to worry about for him. You know, if Akanji goes out, they bring in Ake. If Stones goes out, they've got Ruben Diaz. You know what I'm saying? They're absolutely fine in that sense. De Bruyne goes out, they bring Foden into the 10. No Maiva, or even Bernardo Silva can play there as well. So we're obviously struggling at the minute. We've got a big game coming up against Bayern Munich, which we'll have the preview for tomorrow at probably about 7 o'clock, I'm going to say. So I'm interested to dive into that. Who you think is going to start? What players are going to be available? Because we don't even know who's available for that at the minute. We don't know if Amrabat's going to be available, if Mount's going to be available, if Rafael Varane's going to be available. We don't have a clue who's going to be ready for this game. So maybe that can work to our advantage, or maybe we're just going to get absolutely blasted at the Allianz Arena. How are we all feeling about that Bayern Munich game, by the way? Do we think we can win? Let me know in the comments. Someone just put Bayern, Fenners, I think it is. Bayern are going to batter United. You really thought you would challenge City? Who said that? I didn't say that, mate. I don't know what you've been watching, but you certainly haven't been watching me. Maybe you're watching them reactionary idiots on TikTok. Certainly not me. I missed a few comments there. Loads is in the chat. Thank you very much. Grace saying, do you think we should have gone on the US tour? We looked tired after a long season. Then a few weeks later, we travel all around America. We could have stayed in the UK and worked on tactics. I think the preseason was just shit, to be honest. I remember Christian Eriksen saying it in an interview as well, saying that it weren't great with the players traveling here, there, and everywhere, and they're probably doing it just for commercial reasons, like everything behind Manchester United when we make a decision. Aaron saying Dr. Donny needs to step his game up. Well, he might as well contribute in some form of way, innit? Dan saying, yes, the doctor working for United while wearing an Arsenal shirt underneath. It certainly seems like it. You're going to have that kind of Superman moment where he rips his shirt and it's just big fucking Arsenal badge there. Maybe it's Ty undercover. Evening, Nick. Hope you're well. Thank you, Brian. Hope you're good, mate. Oslo, Edinburgh, USA, Stretford, Dublin. Spot the standout one. Henry Jones says no. Lou says we'll get smoked like a good spliff. I like the analogy. I generally think it'd be a real United thing for us to go and beat Bayern Munich in Germany. Brian, welcome to the club, pal. I think I'm the only fan on the planet who thinks that United are going to beat Bayern Munich on Wednesday. Clip it up, get it ready. Manchester United will get a good result against Bayern Munich on Wednesday. I'm telling you. It'll be one of them freak ones. Nobody's expecting it. People will call me stupid and deluded. And I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'll be positive. I think we're going to beat them on Wednesday, or at least get a draw. I think we'll have some up our sleeve, and I think we'll react well. Now, whether the game after that, Burnley, if we win or not, yeah, that's a different question. I think this season is certainly going to be a roller coaster for sure, 100%. And I think the rest of this season is going to be very interesting. I want to get people back up to scratch and actually a full team play. I was joking the other day when I said I think we'll have our full starting 11 together, like our best team by December probably, when people get back from injuries and stuff. But now you got Wan-Bissaka out for 2 months. Shaw doesn't come back until November. Anthony, you don't know when he's going to be back. Will it be the end of the season? Will it be the new year? No idea. So it's a bit here, there, everywhere, innit? You don't really know what's going on, to be honest with you. Beat Bayern, struggle against Burnley. Have you took your meds? But you don't know what United. This is United. This is United. I remember around the time, when was it Mourinho or Ole who needed the win against Spurs and someone else at the time? Can't remember. Someone will remind me in the chat. It was 2 massive games. I think it might have been City and Spurs, and Ole was on the shittest run you've ever seen. I'm not comparing Ten Hag to Ole, by the way, but he was on the worst run you'd ever seen, and we went and beat Spurs and City, and everyone was like, what the fuck? How did the fuck did that happen? But then we lost to a shit team after it. So it's not out of the realms of possibility, mate. If you watch Manchester United, you know we are like that. We're more than capable of beating Bayern Munich. More than capable of beating Bayern Munich. I don't care what anyone says. Shah Sam says, as always, positive. We are winning. Love that, Shah Sam. Yeah, I think we could get something. Munich didn't look great on Friday. They've not been amazing under Tuchel. I know I think they've probably won most games apart from the Super Cup, was it, against Leipzig, where they got beat 3-0. But Tuchel's had some questions thrown in there. You know what I mean? Obviously, they've got Harry Kane, who's bound to score. I mean, that's one thing that will definitely happen. Harry Kane will score against us. And you'll know the media will spin it like, look at what you could have had. Or they'll come up with some creative headline or something like that. I remember when I told everyone we'd beat PSG under Ole and everyone laughed. Then Rashford did the business. Loved that game. One of my favourites. Hopefully, Ten Hag has told Rashford now we have a number 9 and shown him how to pass. Absolutely, Lewis. Absolutely, because he is a greedy shit. He is greedy. He has this tunnel. Chivy always says it on the channel. He has this kind of tunnel vision where he just ignores everybody else and never squares it. There was 2 instances where that happened against Brighton. So we need to switch that up, because if you get one opportunity against Bayern Munich, if he gets a similar opportunity against Bayern Munich and doesn't square it for Højlund and shoots again, people are going to lose the rag with him. You've already got people putting out there that Rashford and Bruno ain't good enough for this team and will never win the league. So, that kind of narrative is going to be pushed even more. Whilst we're speaking about people speaking and tweets and stuff, the members video this week, the Sancho one's currently being edited. It was supposed to be out yesterday. I apologise for that. But 2 videos are being dropped this week. The Sancho one from the streets to the Stretford end will be dropping. And then the second one, which I spoke to Shreyas about before, Real Reds react to tweets. So all the reactionary tweets after the game from like Goldbridge, Gary Neville, all these kind of people who are influencers in the United space, I react to all their crazy tweets. And there's a couple of in there, not even just from Goldbridge or Neville, from a couple of the big accounts about Rashford and Bruno and controversial tweets, and I react to that. So if you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell. It's about £3 a month. Obviously helps us get big guests on, grow the channel, etc. So appreciate all you guys who are already members. You already know who you are, so thank you very much. We want mentality and charter players, nothing. Huh? I do believe Bruno is a good player, but that's it, nothing more, just an opinion. That's fair. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. That's what we want. JT, where do you think United will finish at the end of this season? Tim99 has just gifted a membership. What an absolute legend. I didn't even know you could do that. Well, I didn't know our channel could do that. Henry Jones. Henry Jones is just, yes. Love it. Big up to Tim. Absolute legend, man. What a nice guy. We're getting a nice community here. Love it. Absolutely love it. Legends on TikTok as well. Sorry, I don't know. Did I answer that question? Where do you think United will finish at the end of the season? Do you know what? I feel awkward looking back at what do you call it? The fucking hell. At the season predictions at the start, I feel really awkward because mine were very bold. If you're asking me now, I think we struggle for top 5. The way we've started, I do. I really, really do. Because we've lost 9 points already, which is huge. So, yeah. Yeah, you can give memberships as long as you receive memberships. You can. Oh, happy days then. Henry, you'll be witnessing 2 videos this week. Jadon Sancho from the streets to the Stretford end. His time at Watford, Man City's academy, when he went to Dortmund and when he moved to Manchester United, but everything in between and quotes from the coaches and stuff. And then there's a big video reactions to the crazy tweets after the Brighton game from Goldbridge, Neville, and all them kind of guys. So, yeah, make sure you check us out on Real Reds, whether you're on YouTube or TikTok. And let's keep this show on the road because I've discussed the injured players. I want to discuss Amrabat. Sofiane Amrabat. Keep getting your comments in. I'll read them out. I was listening to a video from James from the Muppeteers, who we've had on the channel before and was fantastic all summer. Very, very accurate. And he said the Manchester United recruitment team don't think Sofiane Amrabat will succeed in England. He is an Eric Ten Hag target. That's coming out from James at the Muppeteers. Fucking good, because everyone else who United recruited have been pants, mate. You know, pushing Ed Woodward pushing for that Harry Maguire deal for £80 million. Shit. Most players who Ten Hag's brought in has done well. This season, there's going to be question marks over some of them, but you haven't really had a time frame to assess them options yet. So let's just park that for a minute. But last season, Lissandro came in, done an amazing job. Casemiro was great. Eriksen for the first 6 months was fantastic. Malacia looked promising, but obviously has that massive injury now. Anyone else who are missing? Antoinette, again, that's a bit of a roller coaster, and you don't know. But he certainly seems like he's got that potential ceiling to hit. So most players that he's brought in did relatively well. This season, Onana, despite what people will say, some people aren't a fan of him and they prefer De Gea. And again, that's absolutely fine. It's all about opinion. I think he'll be fantastic. He's only 27 years old. For £40 million, I think it'll be a steal of a deal. Steal of a deal. See what I've done there? I think he helps us massively in our first phase build-up. If you look at the metrics, De Gea faced, I think it was 9 shots last season, and we conceded 7. So far, we've conceded 30 shots on goal and only conceded 10. So people will want to push certain narratives and have certain opinions and say that De Gea should have never left. That's up to them. In my opinion, I think Onana's good. I think Mount will come good. A lot of people don't like Mason Mount. Again, I'm going against the grain there, but I think Mount will come good. People were blaming him for how the midfield was playing when he was in the team, but now he's out of it and we're still playing shit. Whose fault is it now? Because Bruno's been shit. Casemiro's been shit. Our attackers have been shit. So it's not just one player. I think one player's been scapegoated, but I think the rest of them need to put their ideas up and play. Does he need to play better? Yes. Baki Hannah says we need a world-class centre-back. Agreed. We should have brought in Kim Min-jae. We should have brought in Kim Min-jae when we had the opportunity to. So, yeah, that is one thing I definitely agree with. Because if you got Kim Min-jae alongside the Sun, not like Lindelof's done bad. I don't think the defence has necessarily done bad. I just think the midfield in front of it has been terrible. But as we're sat here right now, the question I've got to ask is, do you think Sofiane Amrabat will be a success at Manchester United? Does anyone who's in the chat have any qualms about him playing for the club? Let me know. And if you don't think he'll be a success, tell me why, and we'll discuss it. And what do you think of him as a player? Or have you even watched him? Some people might have not even watched him for Fiorentina or for Morocco in the World Cup. Who's Man U like? Huh? I don't get the question. Rephrase that question, please, and I'm happy to answer it. Ten Hag gone by Christmas, says Daniel. No, in this club, probably. Should he be gone by Christmas? No, definitely not. Definitely not. We've got 16 people in the chat on YouTube. Please do leave a like if you haven't done already, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. People on TikTok as well. The link is in the description. If you want to head over to YouTube or check us out, check our content out, then you can. Baki says, I've watched enough of Sofiane Amrabat to know he will be 100% success. When Ahmad is fit, if given a chance, he'll take it. I love Ahmad. Big fan of Ahmad. I'm basically saying Man U is washed. Well, that's, again, your opinion in it. Probably a rival fan. Probably support fucking Watford or something. But anyhow, yeah, Amrabat, from what I've seen, I mean, we've already done like a deep analysis videos on Amrabat and stuff. But from what I've seen from Morocco and from what I've seen from Fiorentina, in that final against West Ham, he was better than Rice. Now, does that mean he's a better player than Declan Rice? No. But in that final, the level that he showed was better than Declan Rice. From Morocco, he was their best player. He was an absolute engine in that system that they were setting up in. I think he'll balance the midfield out really, really well. I think Casemiro, Amrabat, and even Mount would be really, really good as a midfield. And I think you could see that in a few games. Numpty's asking, is Mainu back? Kobe Mainu will be back shortly. I think about a week, 2 weeks, he should be back. There's a lot of people excited about Kobe Mainu, and rightfully so, because the preseason that he had looked really, really fucking good. Watford. Liverpool had no centre-backs a few seasons ago and finished third. To say you have an injury crisis is jokes. What? To say you have an injury crisis is jokes. We've got 11 players out. 11 players. If that's not an injury crisis, I don't know what the fuck is. They're literally starting 11s behind me there. Are the people that's out. That is an injury crisis. Obviously. Anyhow, Henry Jones, is the amount of Brighton fans giving it, what? A big unthinkable? Just a modern Bolton? All right, is the amount of Brighton fans giving it the big and unthinkable? Well, to be honest, I have to hold my hands up when it comes to Brighton. The way the football they play is fantastic. Is really, really good. Deserves got him playing good football. And there's no excuses. That team that he fielded the other day, I saw it's worth like £30 million. And they outplayed us in every department at Old Trafford. Our team was worth £350 million. So no excuses there. No excuses. They just played us off the park. Simple as that. Are we allowed to get T-shirts made for the injury crisis like the bin dippers did? Says Dave. Yeah, let's all get a shirt for Varane saying, "See, wish you well. Back in 2 weeks." Let's all do that, and we'll get it across the top there. R.I.P. Varane. Be back soon. Yes, it is, but the amount of fans giving it the big and is crazy. Well, yeah, look, they've not had much to scream about, haven't they? But obviously, the past couple of years, they've blew up. They've gone from like non-league football to Europa League, which is pretty insane, if you ask me. Right, let's move the topic on to Jadon Sancho, because I know a lot of people love Jadon Sancho, and they want him to stay and they want him to play. So, Jadon Sancho apparently is available for transfer, and as it stands, is likely to leave in January on a loan to buy deal. Tottenham, Newcastle, and Borussia Dortmund are interested, but the wages are a huge issue. 350 grand a week. Do you know 2 months of Sancho's wages is equivalent to what Brighton paid for Mitoma? Let that set in. Business. But this is interesting. If Jadon Sancho was to move on, where would he suit best? Borussia Dortmund, Newcastle, Tottenham. Where do you think he would go, and where do you think he would fit in? I think he's just Premier League football. He struggles in general. Newcastle, at this point, I think Harvey Barnes is probably playing better than Jadon Sancho, isn't he? So I don't think Newcastle. Tottenham, maybe it'd work out there, but they've already got quite a lot of attackers, haven't they? They've got Richarlison, Kulusevski, Son. They just bought, what's his name, from Nottingham Forest. Fucking hell. What's his name? Brennan Johnson. There we go. Clicked in my head. So I'm kind of like, well, he just had a similar situation where he wouldn't get enough game time at Tottenham. The one back to Dortmund makes sense to me. I think he would do well back at Dortmund, but then the financials, I just don't see him getting past that. I don't even see him. We'll probably put him on loan and pay half his wages, because we always do that. Always do it. Did it with Alexis Sanchez, funnily enough. I'll go bold here, but I think we missed Mount on Saturday. We could have played him on the right. I like Mount. I think Mount's going to be good, but people just don't like him for whatever reason. Ahmad needs to come back to Sunderland. Mate, I wish he was available now, because I would be starting him on that right-hand side. I wouldn't be starting Bruno there. I would be starting him on the right-hand side. Hands down. I'm a massive fan of Ahmad. It was great for you lot at Sunderland. Wrexham FC. Wow, Henry going in. Numpty, never heard of her. Brennan Johnson, Tottenham. Yeah. Sancho out, bad mouth. It costs 30 mil if Chelsea have out to worth it's 750 mil. Yeah, look, if Chelsea want to come in for him, they're fucking more than welcome to him. Do any of us see a road back for Jadon Sancho? Do you think it's done now with Manchester United? It's such a shame. You spend that much money on a player, You give him 350 grand a week. He had a season of his life. Was it 1920 season at Dortmund where he had 18 goals and 20 assists in all comps? Quite a lot of them came in the DFB Pokal, I think. But even still, like the stats he was putting out was putting up records with like Ronaldo and Messi, like outrageous. And he was a really, really good player for them. But do you know what? When you look back at Jadon Sancho and you look at the history and you look at what his coaches have said about him throughout his come up, I say all this in the members video. It's pretty worrying, some of the quotes about him. You can see why Ten Hag has a certain issue with him. And people like, what's that guy's name on TalkSport? Jamie O'Hara, where he's like, I don't agree with it. When I was at West Ham, not West Ham, when I was at Wolves, I got dropped. And I didn't like, you got dropped, Jamie, because you were shit. You giving advice to Eric Ten Hag about man management and just management in general is like me telling Gordon Ramsay how to cook a steak. And it's slapping on the back of the head going, raw! Fucking raw, Gordon! Bah! On the back, like, it's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. But obviously, they are doing it to get a certain reaction. That's the issue. And it's worked because I've reacted to it. But how these people are credible, people like Gabriel Bonglahor, who looks like someone just dropped a lollipop on the carpet. He just gets given a script. I'm going off onto a bit of a TalkSport tangent here, but he just gets given a script and they go, Gabby, you know, United have just lost. I don't know, say Ten Hag out of his depth, or I don't know, Roy Hodgson's a better manager than Ten Hag, something ridiculous, and he'll get paid for it. And Troy Deeney's gone on record to say this before, and he sits there and he goes, yeah, I'd probably take Webster over Raphael Varane, or just something ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck off. He still knows more than you, does he? Saying Danny Webster's a better centre back than Raphael Varane, I don't think he does know more than me, to be honest. Especially when it comes to Manchester United. I'm telling you, I watch more United football and know more about Manchester United than some of them fucking TalkSport idiots. I'm telling you. Dropped a lolly on the carpet. It's got to be a bungalow hole. I don't think he's great. I think he's shit. Aram Glazer will have to sell now. I'm going to talk about the takeover shortly. TalkSport got even worse recently. It's just declining, mate. It's declining. Adam Webster, yeah. Apologies, Patterson, you pedantic twat. Adam Webster. Sorry, mate. I'll be 100% as a gunner. United's problems do start with the Glazers, lad. Exactly. Yeah, we know this. We know it is. People say, get your Norwich scarves out, or they spent £1 billion. Do your research when it comes to the Glazers. You don't know shit, mate. You don't know shit. They have been like a dark cloud over Manchester United for 18, 19 years now. And I don't think we'll ever be at the top of European football again whilst they're in charge. But again, another perfect segue. So I mentioned at the start, Fabrizio Romano put a tweet out before in regards to the takeover. And I don't want to get people's hopes up and, you know, people behind thinking, oh, what is it? Is it? I don't know what's legit about this or whatever. But Fabrizio Romano put things relating to the Manchester United takeover are still happening behind the scenes, but the parties involved prefer to keep specifics secret. And then please, if someone's in the chat, I can't remember the name of the business insider, or there was like a business journal who put out something about Qatar, or saying that the something, I can't remember what it was. In fact, let me find the tweet, because I had it up before, but I don't know where it's gone now. Let me find this for you. I want to get the actual specific news, because I'd rather not just kind of Chinese whisper it at this point. So there we go. Business journalist Heliard says, I was told that not much will happen in the process in August and September, but it's believed that the process will progress within the next few weeks. My feeling is that Sheikh Jassim will succeed in taking over the club in the end. Now, I want to dive into this Heliard geezer is, because it could just be any name. So he's a financial journalist who landed at the mighty Bloomberg. So he's a Bloomberg journalist, I suppose. But we've heard stuff from Bloomberg before, haven't we? So do you take it as gospel? Is it true? Is it not? Who knows? Fabrizio's not got a clue about the takeover, and that's not solving United problems. But we need to talk about the takeover. Do you want the Glazers to stay in charge? Are we just happy to sit there and... Like, come on. Are you watching footy tonight? Also, do you think you'll do the other watch-alongs in the future? I am watching the football tonight. Burnley kick off in 15 minutes against Forest, don't they? which weirdly I've just had a notification for, so that's very strange. But yeah, I am watching that. And then do you think you'll do the other watch-alongs in the future? I'll be doing watch-alongs, yeah. I'll be doing watch-alongs. Sometimes Shreyas will be on with me, sometimes it'll be solo, but I'll be doing most of the watch-alongs, yeah. They've kicked off now, have they? I thought Monday Night Football is usually kicking off at 8. How strange. Have they changed it for some? Well, yeah, I mean, that's me gone shortly. I thought it was kicking off at 8 o'clock. It's a bit random. No more excuses. No, but that's it. That's time. Just a quick recap. We've spoken about the takeover. We've spoken about Jadon Sancho. We've spoken about Sofiane Amrabat. And we spoke about the absolute injury crisis that's at Manchester United. We play Bayern Munich on Wednesday. The preview for that game will be tomorrow night. Me and the lads will be discussing it. I think it's some fascinating insights into that game. We've got 2 members' videos dropping this week. We've got another video on the Champions League youngsters to break out. Me and Shreyas just recorded that today. That'll be dropping tomorrow, just before the games actually kick off. So keep an eye out for that one. So shitloads of content. Thank you to all the members and viewers in the chat who are constantly tuning in, constantly getting your chats in. Even if you're a Liverpool fan or an Arsenal fan, whatever it is, I don't care. I'm happy to discuss it because there won't be no red tinted glasses. But obviously, especially the United fans who are in the chat and the people who are in the TikTok constantly tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. Please do subscribe. Please do check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Real Reds Talk. We're on everywhere. We're absolutely everywhere. And it's growing and growing and growing and growing. And we're getting more and more guests on. So, yeah, I'll leave you with that. Let's look forward to the Bayern Munich game, and I'll see you a lot for the preview tomorrow. There'll probably be a news show as well at 12 with more and more stuff coming out. So, yeah. Hoyland Football says, yo, just found this channel, followed you. Big up. Appreciate you, brother. Love the name as well. Let's hope he gets a goal on Wednesday, shall we? Yeah, take care, everyone. See you in the next one. Peace. Big up, legend.